This week, Emily Calandrelli became the 100th woman in space, which is a gigantic accomplishment, and her joy was just so palpable and beautiful. And in honor of now 100 women going to space, I wanted to talk a little bit about the history of women in space because, as you might imagine, it has been a pretty difficult road to get here. The first woman in space was Valentina Tereshkova, a cosmonaut who went up all the way back in 1963. The second woman in space, also a cosmonaut, went up in 1982, almost 2 decades later. Now in the US, in order to be an astronaut, you had to have military experience as a test pilot, but no women were allowed to be test pilots for the military, so no women could be astronauts. There were 13 women who were tested in the late 50s and early 60s by the same clinic that screened all the astronauts and who met all of the physical requirements. This group was called the Mercury 13, but because of the test pilot rule and because of sexism, they never got to go to space. Except for Wally Funk, who got to go to space with Blue Origin in 2021. NASA did start training female astronauts in the late 70s, and Sally Ride became the first US woman in space in 1983. And now we have a total of 100 women who have done this incredible, brave, inspiring thing. Which is incredible, but it's still a ridiculously small number. The 100th man went to space in 1979. The fact that we've reached 100 women in space right now is largely due to private companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin. I mean, just 4 years ago, only 65 women had been to space. And there is still a ton of sexism in the industry. It even happened to Emily. Blue Origin posted a video of her reaction in space, and it made me cry to see her joy and awe, but men immediately sexualized it. And the video got taken down. Emily's response was perfect, of course. I'll let you pause to read that. But this is still a big part of today's culture. Female astronauts are asked about their children and who's looking after them. They're chided for taking the risk of spaceflight when male astronauts with children aren't. We have come a long way since the 60s, but there is still a pretty big problem with how we talk and think about women in space. Because Emily and all of the other female astronauts out there have brought joy and inspiration to millions of people around the world. And we need more of that.